All right, everyone, today we're going to focus on the past continuous and especially how to make questions. The past continuous is used to talk about actions that were happening at a specific moment in the past. For example, imagine you are telling a story. You want to describe what was happening at that time. You can say, I was walking through Paris yesterday morning. This shows that the action was in progress in the past. Now, when we make questions in the past continuous, we need to change the order of the sentence. We put the verb to be before the subject. So instead of saying you were listening to music, we ask, were you listening to music? This is the key rule. Always remember, first was or were, then the subject, and then the verb with ing. Let's look at a few examples together. We say, we were listening to music when her dad called. If we want to ask about this, we say, were we listening to music when her dad called? Another example, I was walking through Paris yesterday morning becomes, was I walking through Paris yesterday morning? You can see that the structure changes, but the meaning stays connected to an action in progress. We also use the past continuous to talk about two actions happening at the same time. For example, we were talking about our holiday while we were eating dinner. If we want to ask about this, we say, were we talking about our holiday while we were eating dinner? This helps us describe situations in more detail, especially in stories. Now let's talk about short answers. When someone asks you a question in the past continuous, you don't always need to repeat the full sentence. You can give a short answer. For positive answers, we do not use contractions. For example, was I eating? Yes, I was. Or were they talking? Yes, they were. But in negative answers, we usually use contractions. For example, no, I wasn't, or no, they weren't. This is very important for natural English. Let's practice a few more examples. If someone asks, were you listening to music when her dad called? You can answer, yes, I was, or no, I wasn't. If they ask, were we talking about our holiday? You can say, yes, we were, or no, we weren't. Try to notice the pattern. The verb to be changes, but the structure stays the same. Now let's connect this grammar to some useful vocabulary about technology. For example, you can say, I was using my phone when you called. Here, phone or telephone is a very common noun. You might also say, they were watching a video on their player, or he was repairing a broken machine. These examples help you use the past continuous in real-life situations. We also have useful verbs like call, text, print, or record. For example, I was recording a message when the battery died, or she was texting me when her phone broke. You can also say, the speaker wasn't working because it was broken. These sentences combine grammar and vocabulary in a natural way. Finally, remember that the past continuous helps you describe actions in progress in the past, and the question form is very simple. Just change the order and start with was or were. Practice asking and answering questions, and try to use real-life vocabulary like technology words. This will help you communicate more clearly and confidently in English.